On October 27, 2009, Asheron's Call celebrated its 10th anniversary with the development of a major patch, which added an expansion pack worth of new content, which included new quests, monsters, and skills to an already diverse gameplay experience. This video will provide an inside look on the contents of this update. The first item I'd like to talk about are two-handed weapons, which are clearly the biggest change to the game. It is a brand new weapon skill which has the same skill credit cost as sword, but with its own distinct advantages and disadvantages. Some people might be confused by this at first, but I want to point out that the weapons for this skill are clearly designated as two-handed weapons, and can appear in any form of the other weapons available in the game. Two-handed weapons is its own skill, not a supplemental one, so for example, if you're an axe user and come across a two-handed axe, you will not be able to use that weapon effectively. You do not have to take up any other weapon skill if you choose to train two-handed weapons. As of the 10th anniversary update, two-handed weapons effectively steals the throne from sword as the most powerful melee attack skill. Among the first things you'll notice when using these weapons is that they strike twice regardless of where you set your attack speed to, which is an advantage because you have more chances to successfully strike your opponent or hit critically. Against a single opponent, the increase to damage versus sword won't seem like much, and it's designed this way on purpose. All two-handed weapons have what is called the cleave property, which strikes your current target and a second random target in a 90-degree arc in front of you. This effectively doubles your damage output versus other weapons when fighting multiple opponents. It's a really nice strategic addition to the game because for two-handed users, positioning yourself can become critical, especially if you're in a group, as you always want to take advantage of this cleave effect. However, in some cases, such as player versus player combat, you might find yourself accidentally killing your allies this way, so spears are available which only hit one target. Spears offer no distinct advantage over their counterparts other than the fact that their variance is widened for higher maximum damage and lower minimum damage. With two-handed weapons, you also have access to every physical damage type, though unlike sword or some other weapons, you won't find any two-handers that do two damage types on the same weapon. The big disadvantage to all of these benefits, of course, is that you forfeit the ability to use a shield, which means that you might want to put more emphasis into defense and quality armor than you would with another melee character. To summarize, two-handed weapons caters to those who just want brute force rather than balanced attack and defense. Along with the 10th anniversary patch came a new trade skill called gearcrafting. This skill is much more diverse than its 2 skill credit cost implies. Before I go into the trade skill itself, I should first mention that it is now possible to equip certain items called trinkets on your character. These items are much like jewelry except for the fact that they can be imbued up to 3 times. They have been added to the loot profile so any opponent can leave one behind. Trinkets can come in the form of compasses, mechanical scarabs, goggles, pocket watches, just to name a few. New salvages have been introduced into the game which are specifically for gear crafting, which are all imbues. Each trinket can have a major, moderate, and minor spell on them. While these enchantments are weak at first glance, they do layer over spells already casted upon your character for that extra advantage. And while most imbues have a maximum success rate of 38%, the moderate and minor imbues are much easier to do, with a success rate maximum of 100%. That said, you'll typically want to apply the major imbue first, so that if you succeed, you can add the moderate and minor ones easily. Gear crafting also has applications that significantly enhance some of the lesser valued skills, which are leadership, loyalty, deception, and creature appraisal. The items I talk about are available at all levels. For leadership, you can create horns, which require a certain level of skill to use, which increases the maximum health of the entire party by a certain amount. Again, this layers over with existing spells. Higher leadership grants you access to better quality horns. Loyalty has a similar application but increases stamina and mana instead of health. For Deception, you now have access to gear-crafted Verendi gems that will increase your arcane lore temporarily when used. This effect layers over current arcane lore spells, and your Deception must be equal to or higher than what the gem calls for in order to use it. Creature Appraisal has perhaps received the most benefit from gear crafting. With the right combination of items, creature assessment lenses can now be constructed. These require a certain base assess creature skill to use. To put it concisely, these are much like magic casters, except that it casts a vulnerability spell called Expose Weakness. This ability is catered to those who don't want to bother with life magic or alchemy files as a means of weakening their opponent's defenses. These items do require mana to operate, but have a large capacity, so even people who do not have mana conversion can use these for a while before recharging them. One last major addition to mention is the quest journal. With this new user interface enhancement, you may now take notes, list and sort your favorite quests, and even track quest timers and locations. The file for all of your entries is placed on your computer, which is located in My Documents in the Asheron's Call folder, and it assumes the name of the server that you play on and your character's name. Keep this in mind if you want to share your journal with other people or you want to transfer your journal to another computer. I do like the fact that books aren't completely overshadowed by this feature, since they are easier to share and flip through than the quest journal, and the text always stays with your character, so it's much more portable. Simply put, if you're not really into using decal or can't use it in the first place, the quest journal makes a really nice addition to the user interface. Those are the major features introduced into the 10th anniversary patch of Asheron's Call. This is an expansion pack's worth of content without the admission price. This isn't like some other massive multiplayer online game that asks users to hand over bills every time a major update is made. Some games really go overboard with their expansion packs. It's almost like having a second yearly fee tacked onto the monthly fee that you already pay. Anyways, there you have it, the 10th anniversary patch of Asheron's Call. Watch out for those gear knights. I hear they're pretty cranky in the mornings. Get it? Cranky? Yeah, okay. I'll see you in game.